Welcome to the U.S. latest news channel. Watch the video to the end to find out the current and breaking news about the Russian war in Ukraine. Speculation and developments on the Russian-Ukraine war, which has been one of the issues that have frequently preoccupied the world public opinion lately, do not stop decaying. The latest development experienced and reported stands out as one of the developments that will be talked about a lot. A senior official of the Russian Wagner Group, a special military unit official known for his closeness to the Kremlin, was killed by Kiev's military units inside Ukrainian territory, Ukraine announced. According to the own websites of news agencies that follow military divisions of Russian military units, Alexei Nagin, a 41-year-old who held senior positions, was killed and neutralized in the vicinity of Bakhmut in Donetsk, Ukraine, in an attack carried out on September 20, 2022. Private mercenaries affiliated with the Wagner Group are known for attracting attention by playing an active role in the decimation of the Ukrainian territory over the past few months, which occurred immediately after the military units of the Russian armed forces suffered serious losses that cannot be ignored. Ukrainian news websites reported that Russian oligarch Yevgeny Prigozhin, who controls the Wagner Group, was present at Nagin's funeral in Volgograd. Prigozhin is attributed as Putin's private chef, since some kind of catering company prepares dinners in which Russian President Vladimir Putin also participates. According to reports by various competent news agencies, Nagin has previously been at war with Russian or Wagner military forces in places such as Chechnya, Georgia, Syria, and Libya. He added that he recently took part in a Russian documentary film about the Wagner Group called The Best in Hell. Operating in London, according to Assistant Commissioner of the Royal United Services Institute Romani Samuel Organization Ideas, Mali and the Central African Republic in authoritarian regimes, providing support supplements to keep the forces of Wagner mercenaries under Russian plays an active role in events with the invitation. This group, which has a close relationship with the Russian state, is notable for its close connections. The Wagner Group played an active role in the capture of cities such as Popasna and Severodonetsk in Luhansk, he told the BBC News organization. In recent times, nowadays, it is an unofficial, non-military unit of the army that is subordinate to the Russian military units. No casualties have yet been reported either. As of last August, British intelligence believes that about 1,000 mercenaries, including Wagner Group delegates and their members, are fighting on the side of Russian forces around Ukraine. He notes that the Wagner Group receives military personnel from prisoners in Russian Mapucheans in order to prevent and compensate for battlefield losses on Ukrainian territory. Human rights defender Olga Romanova, who made a statement to The Insider, one of the most important news organizations, made the following statements: all kinds of crimes are accepted regardless, but murderers, thieves, robbers, and people who commit looting acts are preferred. Those who are under arrest for causing damage and grievous bodily harm are also welcome. And even now, they have begun to include buildings convicted even of rape incidents. But they will serve in a separate military unit. We know two narratives from the Saratov formations, strictly terrible places. They have a very, very special one within themselves. In their options, they literally took a criminal from there in the style of cannibalism. And that notorious criminal who was taken also led the way to war. These alleged issues have been partially confirmed by leading news agencies. Friday, February 24th, Russian President Vladimir Putin shared with the public that 4 Ukrainian cities, which have been under the control of Russian military units since the invasion of Ukraine until now, have been officially annexed by Russia. The order issued by the Russian government applies to Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhzhia, any of which are not completely under the control of the supervision of Russian military units. The United States has attributed the annexations made by Russia as illegal and contrary to norms, and has implemented a new sanctions period that puts the formation of a military-industrial complex organized by Russia at the target point as a countershipment. Janet Yellen, who holds the post of United States Treasury Secretary, said, "We will not remain as a spectator to the efforts of Russian President Vladimir Putin to annex certain territories and settlements of Ukraine, which he has revealed using deception, and made striking statements about the incident." Thursday, September 29, 2022, the presenter of the Russian state channel Vladimir Solovyov, nicknamed the Voice of Putin because of his advanced nationalist points of view, admitted that immediately after the Russian military defeat on the territory of Ukraine, all Western states began to mock us, to take tie. After this comment, the Russian Foreign Ministry was contacted. What will happen in the name of future processes is a matter of curiosity. The attacks on Ukraine by Russia are continuing. There are some plans that Russia has planned with the attacks that it has organized. The attacks include advancing on the territory of Ukraine, defending the captured territories, and cutting off the pace of their progress by Ukraine, recently with the help of European states. According to the article in the report, it is written that the attacks of enemy soldiers are continuing and aerial reconnaissance flights are continuing. In violation of international humanitarian law, attacks by enemy soldiers continue on the civilian population itself and their homes. In terms of the laws of war and traditions, there is also a violation of the enemy soldier. During the attacks over the past day, rocket launcher attacks took place throughout Ukraine, totaling more than 85 times. In addition, 4 missile attacks and 15 airstrikes were carried out, including Bylovorivka, Novomykolivka, Blahodativka, Sukhoi Stavik, and Odradivka. More than 50 settlements throughout Ukraine were attacked by Russia. The enemy soldiers, especially the officers, enlist the military school students before the time due to the military hardship they have experienced. The enemy attacks that took place over the past day took place mainly near New York, Zaitsev, and Soledar. The attacks that took place were repulsed. At the same time, the attacks of the Ukrainian troops continued against the Russian troops. According to information released by Ukraine the other day, 4 enemy anti-aircraft missile systems along with 6 weapons and military equipment concentration areas were destroyed by Ukraine. In total for these, 11 attacks took place during the day. At the same time, it was announced that 3 enemy UAVs and 1 Ka-52 helicopter were shot down by Ukrainian air defense units. Over the past day, artillery, 11 command centers of different levels, as well as manpower, weapons, and military equipment located at these points, were detected and hit by Ukraine. In addition, ammunition depots, anti-aircraft missile systems, electronic warfare, and intelligence stations were destroyed by Ukraine. For the destruction of these targets, 14 enemy areas were targeted. $13 billion of the aid determined to be given to Ukraine were promised to be provided to the Ukrainian state. Over this amount, the pay transaction of $11 billion was fully realized. The World Bank Emergency Service, which is leading the delivery of emergency aid, said, the aid provided has been made to help Ukraine continue to serve its people and help people affected by the war to live more comfortably economically, the explanation was given. In addition, the President of the United States, Joe Biden, approved the draft law, which will greatly support Ukraine. Thanks to this bill, the Ukrainian state will be able to relax again when it is under Russian attack with new economic and aid packages in order to protect its country. Due to the fact that the package has already been approved by the U.S. House of Representatives, there are no obstacles left in front of the bill. The person who made this statement was the Canadian Foreign Minister Melanie Joly personally. Along with these statements that he said at the press conference, he also announced his support for Ukraine. Joly said that from the Canadian point of view, they believe that NATO will continue to keep its doors open to Ukraine. At the same time, he also stood behind the support given for Ukraine. According to the information on the agenda, it is suggested that Ukraine is looking for different ways to join NATO, and in this context, an application for accelerated accession to NATO has been made. In the continuation of this information, it is said that the process of signing the application has also been completed. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video to be informed of the developments at the speed of light.